Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bodybuilding Legends Show. I'm your host John Hansen. We're broadcasting live from the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa, Florida. And our special guest today is Bill Grant. Bill was one of the top bodybuilders of the 1970s. Bill won the 1974 Mr. World title, which was held in Madison Square Garden on the same night as the 1974 Mr. Olympia and Mr. America. He's got a lot of great stories about the good old days. Bill used to train at the Gold's Gym out in Venice, California, alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mike Katz, Franco Columbu, Frank Zane, Ken Waller. Bill's got a lot of great stories about the good old days of bodybuilding. So we're really looking forward to talking to Bill Grant, Mr. World, in a minute. Let's take a break to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to be with Bill Grant, 1974 Mr. World. We'll be right back with the Bodybuilding Legends Show.
Hey, this is Derek and Eric, DNC Boys Live.
Come check us out, Tampa's leader in sports nutrition since 1996, dncsupplements.com.
Now serving 2 locations, DNC Supplements 54 in Lana Lakes.
All right, welcome back to the Bodybuilding Legends Show, and I'm very happy to welcome my good guest, my good friend Bill Grant, calling in from New Jersey. How you doing, Bill?
Oh, good, John. How you doing today? Nice and warm down in Florida, man. You know, we're up here in New York, but we've got a saving grace thing. At least it's not as bad as it was last year. If you can remember, we had the first snowstorm was Halloween, and I think we had a couple of, and it continued all the way through. Not only the snow, the rain, the ice, the freezing.
Yeah.
This year it's living in Tampa.
Yeah. Well, Bill, it's a pleasure to talk to you. You're one of the better bodybuilders from the 1970s, and you were part of that original Gold's Gym crew that trained out in Venice, California, and you trained with Arnold and Franco. You competed against bodybuilders like Robbie Robinson and Sergio Oliva. So, I mean, you were even in the movie and the book Pumping Iron, right?
Yeah, that was. Let me tell you, it's just a big honor to be pumped up with such a special type of thing that we did. I mean, it was special. I mean, yeah. And to be a part of that's something that's special. It makes you feel good. You know, we're privileged. I mean, nobody else has seen that. I wish I could take everybody back there to see exactly what it was like in a time machine. But it was so special. It's such an honor to be around all these guys, and Arnold really popular. I mean, we all did, but Arnold was the forefront of the popularized bodybuilding, and it's just fantastic. I just never knew bodybuilding would get a kick like that after pumping up. I mean, if you were out there, you could just see Hollywood had a love affair with bodybuilding. I was on every show in Hollywood. I did 2 commercials, Toyota commercials. I was on billboards in Germany. I did What's Happening Now. I was on the Cher show. Mm-hmm. I was on Mervyn show. I worked with what's his name, Robert Wagner. Yeah. I was on A-Team. I mean, it was special, man. It was great. I couldn't believe what was going on. We were getting called constantly, man. Yeah. We were doing it. Rick Drayson, and he can tell you this. We had a recurring on a game show. It was great. Dastardly Dan, and I'd have a cake. And Rick was somebody else. That was great, man. I mean, it was just a blast, man. The news would come in and interview us. It was like, we felt like big stars.
Yeah, you were around when the media and the country was really finding out about bodybuilding. This was before the whole fitness craze, right?
Well, this is right after Pumping Iron came out. That's when it started. Yeah. And I mean, it was great. I mean, they just ascended on the bodybuilding world like, wow, popular. They didn't even want to talk to us. They want to look at us. Now all of a sudden you're stars. But it's really amazing how Hollywood works. You know, when you're in, you're in. Mm-hmm. When you're out, you're out. And it's the same thing. I mean, Robert Blake, owned the building that the Gold's Gym was on 2nd Street. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Is anybody out there? Nobody knows. I'm giving you a little tip. Yes. Robert Blake owned that building on the corner.
Robert Blake from Beretta, right?
Yeah, Beretta. Yeah. He used to come into the gym. Yeah. I mean, it was incredible. What his name? Rocky's coach. What was his name? The guy.
Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, right. He was in the. He came come into the gym. All the stars, all the big stars came in the goals because it was fashionable.
Yeah.
You know, that was the thing. It was the thing. The pumping iron got to be in bodybuilding. Well, Arnold changed the whole face of Hollywood. What stars are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
They freaked out like, oh, geez, what's going on, man? We got to all be in shape. Look at it now.
Yeah.
Look at all the big stars. What are they doing? They're working out, even the women.
Right.
I mean, so for all those years that they beat us down on being bodybuilders, in the end, we really got the last laugh.
Yeah.
And it was great. And being on the Cher show, I mean, Rick put that out there. Rick Drayson, you know, it's on the internet. Every time I look at that, man, with Bill Cosby, Cher, the Smothers Brothers, it's like, I cannot believe this. We're on the Cher show. Then when I did What's Happening Now twice with Don Ross, I was like, I can't believe I'm on all these shows I used to watch at home. This is incredible.
Now, Bill, when did you start working out? How old were you?
The first time I actually lifted weights, you guys are going to laugh, I was 9 years old.
Wow.
My parents said, forget that crap, man. You're too young for that. So about around 12 again, I did it again. No, you're still young. You're too young to use it. John, I just love bodybuilding. I mean, the magazines were a lot different than what they are now, and they only cost about 20 cents, 25 cents. But I finally got around to being able to train at 14 years old. That was the magic number. And
who was the guy you looked up to, Bill? Who was the bodybuilder that sort of inspired you?
Well, Steve Reeves, I think, inspired most of us. I know Reg Park inspired Arnold.
Yeah.
Steve Reeves, Larry Scott was my great guy. Oh man, geez, Sergio. Oh, when I looked at Larry Scott, I had to have arms like that.
Yeah.
Harold Poole was the guy I wanted to be ripped, man. He was ripped, man. Harold Poole, man. He was way ahead of his time as being ripped.
Yeah.
I loved him. I got to be friends with Harold Poole, and Larry Scott I just loved. I looked up to him. Steve Reeves was the man. You know, he was the god back in the day. I mean, he was Hercules.
Yeah.
You can see how thing goes in cycles. I mean, Steve Reeves was the first big guy in the movie.
Yeah.
And when I watched him, everybody saw it with the pillars, man. When I saw the movie, it was a vacant lot next to my house. I went there, put some posts on a hill, got some ropes, and I. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I was skinny as hell. I was 4'9", 110 pounds. I literally, the wind would push me around on the track because I used to run track. But the biggest thing of all is my sister had to fight for me. My friend around the corner, he had to fight for me. I mean, think of it. I'm in high school, 4'9", 110 pounds.
Yeah.
How big do you think I was, man? I was skinny as a rail, man. But
when was your first show, Bill? What year was your first show?
My first show was 1964. It was the Mr. High School, New Jersey.
Wow.
That was John Kemper. Me, John Kemper. Was it 64 or 63? But I remember that's basically how John Kemper and I fared up. It was great. I think John won the contest that year. And there was another guy named Herb Jefferson Jr. You probably don't remember the name, but remember Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
The movie? There was a black guy who was the pilot. That show, that was Herb Jefferson Jr.
Okay.
And he was from Elizabeth, and we used to compete against people. He had great abs. And along with John, I got to be friends with him. Now Herb still, I just got a Merry Christmas note from him as well, Herb Jefferson. So, yeah, it was great. That was my first thing, and I was 5th place.
Okay.
And I'm so pissed, John. I went home because my mother wasn't particularly fond of me working out. My dad was a professional boxer at one point. He was ranked third best in the world in the light heavyweight division.
Wow. Okay.
He liked the bodybuilding thing, and my mother didn't, so she wouldn't give me money for the protein. And I came home, and I just pitted both against the other. I was crying, oh, Dad, oh, man, Jesus Christ, I lost the contest. Mommy won't give me any money for protein. My father says, Come on now. Help the kid out. He doesn't anyway. Yeah, come on. Let him help the. Oh, my mother was pissed. When he left, he says, "Oh, so you think you're smart, huh? You're doing that pretty." Hey, Ma, I got to get my protein from somewhere. But my dad was gung ho with it, and my sister's girlfriends. I used to train in the bedroom. A friend of mine, his father built us a wooden bench. So all you guys out down there with all this unique equipment, we didn't have that back in the day. Now you might remember the dumbbells where you had to unscrew the bolt, put it on in. Those are the kind. We didn't have fixed dumbbells, fixed barbells.
Right.
Bench presses, sometimes you had to pull the bar over, bench press, then put it back.
Yeah.
How about when squats? Two guys would have to put the bar on your back.
Right.
Or you'd have to press it up and put it on your back and
Right,
then squat and take it back again.
Right.
I mean, so it was incredible. And my sister's girlfriends, they used to look at this. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are you looking in the mirror? What are you looking at? I says, you don't see it now. But it was called visualization. I see it. Well, that's good you see, because we don't see nothing. I said, but you will. And my father told him, hey, listen, don't laugh at that kid. He might get there. And they just told me some years ago. They says, wow, your dad was right, man. They said, don't laugh at him. You did it, man. So I was all gung-ho, man. I mean, bodybuilding is almost like any other sport, like public sport, like running, marathons. People run marathons because they want to take it a little bit further, than run miles. But now, okay, I'm going to go a little bit further. It's like bodybuilding. Yeah. I'm going to work out, but now I'm going to train to be a bodybuilder and compete. People love to work out, but not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. But trust me, man, I had the bug, man. I used every month, John. Every month, I made sure I was at the store, not run around the corner from me. Oh, did the magazines get here yet? The magazines get there yet?
Yeah.
And then you look and think, oh man, Larry Scott's on the cover. Wow. Oh man, Sergio. Oh man, Sergio Brett, Arnold. Oh shit, man.
Now, Bill, I was looking at your contest history. It looked like you did like some national level shows around 67, 68. You did like the Mr. USA and Mr. America, right? Back in the AAU days. Yeah.
Exactly. It was great, man. It was so well. I mean, going around to the shows, the AAU shows, and they were different. I have to admit, the AAU show was different than what. I mean, back in the day, I can remember the bodybuilding shows, and a lot of the younger guys don't realize that it's all changed now. Bodybuilding is we have an entity of our own. We don't have to stand, behind anybody else to be looked at. But we had to first go to the show and had to watch the weightlifting competitions first.
Right.
Then they had the bodybuilding shows. But the thing is you might not get on stage like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, you talk about no respect, man. You're there since the morning and you're still waiting, man, to compete. It's like 10 o'clock. Okay, the bodybuilders are on. I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go to damn bed, man. I lost my pump, man. I've been pumping up since this morning.
But then you won Mr. New Jersey, right? 1968?
Yes, I did. I won the North Jersey, the Mr. New Jersey, and the junior and senior Mr. Suburban.
Wow, okay.
And me and Kemper won the same titles. But I'll give you a little story about me and John. We were the best bodybuilders in Jersey at the time. Mm-hmm. So we went down to Trenton, the southern part of the state. And he and I can't remember the name of that show. It wasn't the Mr. Trey. I think it was the Mr. Trenton, but it was another show along with it, and we were in that show. And at the end of the night, John and I won the show. John won, I was second, and we won all the body parts.
Yeah.
You heard the guys in the back, we would have beat the shit out those guys. It's John, we better get out of here real quick, man. They were pissed, man. We just annihilated the guys in South. The guys in South Jersey were horrible. The guys up north were great because we had New York, Mid-City, all the secrets and stuff.
Right.
Wow, man. We were hated down there, man. we cleaned them out. We cleaned their clocks, as they say. It was fun.
But then in 69 you went to you did the Mr. Los Angeles, right?
Right. Matter of fact, I lived out. John, I got to tell people how many times I went to LA. You've heard Arnold time after time.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to fail. John, I failed quite a few times going to LA. I was starving, man. I was broke. I was a teenager. I had to get to California.
Yeah.
65, I'll give you the hitch and then we'll go right to 69. 65, I went out and I went to school and I went to Los Angeles City College.
Okay.
Next year, okay, I didn't go to school, but I got married. I was 19 years old.
Okay.
That was history. 3 kids after that. And I kept saying, we went back to Jersey and I said, oh, I gotta go back to LA. So in 69, I went back again and I was supposed to get a job. And this was a legitimate job. It was a friend of mine was in the movie business. And he was doing a movie and he was going to put me, working, behind the scenes. So he gets there and he says, Bill, just come on out. Here's the number. Call me when you get here. So I get there. And I didn't bring much money because I figured I was going to be working right away. So I get there and I'm calling. I can't find this guy at all. Never couldn't get him. He got arrested for child support. For child support. He didn't pay his child support. And I lost the job and I ended up fucking starving to death, man. But let's put it this way. I did work. I worked at Barker Brothers Furniture Store, but I worked out like crazy. And I trained at Vince's gym at that time. Now, Vince in 69, that was the gym there, remember?
Yeah.
Vince, goals were just going because Arnold lived, that's when I met Arnold, 1969, guys.
Okay.
Arnold lived not far, a couple of blocks from Vince's gym. Really, really unbelievable. I mean, Arnold really is a success story. People really have to stop thinking that Arnold was taken care of the whole time. No, Arnold worked his ass off. I mean, no matter what you may think of him, personally, whatever, Arnold earned what he got. He worked his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
He had this beat up old dumpy one bedroom apartment in North Hollywood with a beat up old red Volkswagen. Didn't know how to dress, nothing, man. I mean,
yeah.
This guy really had a plan. He had a plan. He knew what he was going to do when he came. He saw Reg Park being Hercules, Steve Reeves being Hercules, and he's thinking, why can't I be that?
Yeah.
I have to think that way. Arnold thought big, not small, big. It wasn't today. It's like the future. I'm not just today. I'm thinking already 20 years ahead.
Yeah.
And, he worked. He worked as a mason. I know some guys heard that. He worked as a carpenter. He worked with Franco.
Mm-hmm.
And he worked, and he trained. And most people probably don't know that Vince Gironda didn't like Arnold and used to call him a fat doughboy and said he'd never go anywhere, never win anything, nothing. I guess Vince wasn't very, he didn't get it. He lost that one. I mean, he's usually good, but everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes, you see big stars like Arnold. People say, this guy never be a star. Next thing you know, the person's a star.
What did you think of him, Bill, when you first met him?
Arnold was a camp. When I first met him, we had fun. We really actually hung out a lot. We'd go to his apartment. He'd have little parties there. Arnold was great. He'd share the protein drinks. But there was one thing that Joe Weider didn't like of any of us. Frank Zane, Arnold, he would be pissed. Do you remember Rio H. Blair, right?
Yeah.
Now, you have to understand, back in the day, I love you, Joe. Rest in peace. But Blair had the best supplements in the world, if you ever took them. He had the best stuff. Arnold knew it. I knew it. Frank Zane, they were taking pictures with Blair's protein in his house. Fucking Joe's going crazy. What are you doing, man? No, we have to get the best protein, Joe. This stuff you're giving us, it's garbage. And it was good stuff. And it was really great. And going to Vince's gym, you never had a chance to go to Vince's gym, have you?
No, I never went there.
I wish a lot of guys could have seen Vince's. It was not at your usual gym.
Yeah.
It was dark. Oh, Vincent, you don't need light. You don't need a lot of light in the gym. You're not there to look at the light, you train. I mean, Vince's gym was it was weird looking. He had all these gadgets that he designed and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember he had this bench on a pole, leaning against a pole, and it had a a cutout where you could put your face in, but it was to do rear delts, lay on the board and do rear delts. Oh, then he had the spider curl bench. I mean, it was crazy. Now, remembering the Larry Scott bench, I mean, nobody would have bought it. They called it the Vince Duranda bench because it was Vince's gym. I mean, Vince invented it, but he put Larry's name on it because now everybody would. And guess what? I gotta do Scott curls. Everybody wanted to do Scott curls, preacher curls, spider curls, man. Man, it was great. We'd go to the gym. We'd have fun. I guess
Vince didn't allow squats or deadlifts or no squats, right? In the gym, he wanted nobody to do squats.
He didn't think you shouldn't squat.
Right.
Just make it totally. You get a big ass, fat ass. Listen, Frank. Listen. Vince was great, but there's certain things he just missed. You got to squat. If you're going to be a great bodybuilder, if you don't squat, all you guys out there, if you don't squat, you can forget it. You're never going to have a body.
Right.
Sissy squats ain't going to cut it, man.
Right. And when did you guys all go to Gold's Gym?
Beg your pardon?
When did you all make the pilgrimage over to Gold's Gym?
I think it was. I had left at the end of '69. I think it's '70.
Okay.
Everybody cruised over to Gold's Gym, and it was all history after that. Now, listen, I'm not taking anything away. Vince was great.
Yeah.
You wanted. I used to write him, and I mean, you wanted information from him too because he knew his shit.
Yeah.
Vince knew his stuff. Look what he did. Remember Muhammad McCallum?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When he trained, that was the best he ever was.
Yeah,
in Vince
for sure.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
And Vince had this philosophy. You don't need heavy weights, but you know what? You really don't. I've been training that way now for about a year with just minimum weights, 20 to 30 reps. John, I got everything back again. I even got stronger. But as I'm getting older too, I really don't want to, hurt my joints. I've had enough injuries, but it really works well.
Yeah.
The volume just works. I mean, okay, not saying you're not going to use heavy weights. You should, but you got to break off that after about 6 weeks.
Right.
And you go back. But I love doing that kind of training. But at Gold's, it was like Vince. Well, I mean, with Vince, he had all different kinds of angles, and he's right. Angles really make a difference, to an exercise. I mean, you can do one exercise, and all depending on how you angle it, it might be a different type of exercise, hitting different types of muscles.
Yeah.
He was definitely the guru. He was definitely the guru. I mean, look at all the guys that came out of his gym. Don Howarth. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
All these guys look good. I mean, Vince knew what he was doing. He helped these guys a lot. So, anybody saying Vince didn't know what he's doing, they're nuts. Vince was good. But, I mean, now it was a new era. It was getting bigger. Bodies were changing. Okay, we needed a new type of tactic to get big and stuff.
Right.
So Vince was still great, but we got to go take the next step. And Vince wasn't into the next step. He didn't want squats and stuff.
You stayed in L.A., Bill, or did you go back to New Jersey?
I went back to Jersey, but I was still determined to get back to L.A. So I got a job at United Airlines. I worked there for 10 years.
Okay.
I says, I'm working for United Airlines. Oh, wait a minute. United goes to California. They have bases there. This is my way to go. In go the transfers. I put the transfer in, and 2 months later, bingo. I wasn't ready yet because I thought it was going to take about 6 months. I was just trying to prepare. They says, if you don't take it now, you might have to wait another year. I said, I'm taking it. So I told my wife, I says, I'm going. Stay here. I'll bring you guys out. Let me just go out and get everybody settled up. In about a month, I bought everybody out. And the rest was history. I had a job. And I tell guys, do not come to Los Angeles without a job. You know how many guys came here without jobs and starved? They lived in their car. But the saving grace was we had all kinds of work. Like Roger Cowell would always get us job work on security stuff. And all these guys would get jobs. I had a job there, Ken Keene a job there, a whole 9 yards. And it was great. But I can remember the night when we had to do what's his name? Paul McCartney and Wings. Remember when he started that? The first stop was Los Angeles. And we had to do security for him. All right, Grant, you're up, brother. You're going to be watching Paul's kids. Oh, no. Don't give me that response. Rant, you're watching those kids and nothing better not happen to them kids. Otherwise, you better leave town. I said, wow, what a responsibility they put on me. So we had to sit in the front more or less. And those kids, man, I want to go up on the side and see my dad. Sit down, shut up. But it was great, man. I mean, this was all structured great. We had a lot of fun, and Roger got us all kinds of work. I mean, when the Universal Amphitheater was outdoor, I remember what's his name, Rocky Mountain High. Who sold that? John Denver.
Yeah,
I was standing right. I was security at the stage. I couldn't believe it. I says, I'm listening to John Denver for free, and I'm getting paid. Wow! And the song "Rocky," I love this song, man. John, we had so many things going on. It was just a fun time. And anybody I talked to have never been at that scene. You only read it in the magazines.
yeah.
I really wish I had a time machine to take you back. I mean, you're a true bodybuilder. You would enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah, I would love
it was just it was a time in bodybuilding that I don't think we'll ever capture it again.
Right.
We'll never get it again. That will never happen again. And I'm glad I was a part of something that was special.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. I mean,
So, Bill, tell us a little bit about that Gold's Gym atmosphere. Like you said, the camaraderie. We've all seen Pumping Iron, and we saw, the extra footage they had with Pumping Iron where you guys were at Arnold's house having a party and stuff, So describe sort of like how it was like training there, and, you would probably train in the morning and all the guys would come in. Now, was it just like busy in the summertime where all the guys would come from all over the country, or was it pretty busy all year?
Constantly. Now, we had shifts.
Okay.
You got the 6 o'clock morning. That was Dave Draper, Zabo, and those guys. They came, or 7 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock they'd clear out, and then the 10 o'clock crew, which is us, would come, and it was great. I mean, it was like John. It was like a dream. It was a dream come true. I just couldn't. Every day I went there, and by the way, before we start that, I lived around the corner. I lived on the beach. I had a view of Venice Beach.
Wow.
I had a big picture window. I had a fireplace, wall-to-wall carpeted. I had a dishwasher, security building, parked my car under the building. Guess how much I paid?
How much?
Everybody sit down and just hold on, because I'm going to tell you, a view at Venice Beach, seeing the water, just walk out my door, right down to the beach. And the price was $180 a month. Come on! Can you imagine?
Wow,
I
good old
was
days.
at the beach, Venice Beach, and see the water. $180 in a brand new fancy building.
Wow.
It's like unbelievable. I don't think they understood how much money they could collect.
Yeah.
I guess they finally found out that somebody in New York is looking at a brick wall paying $2,000 a month. And they're only paying $200 a month here looking at the ocean? What are you kidding me? Really? I don't think they understood how much money they could. Come on, John. $180 at the beach at Venice?
Wow.
Come on. Oh, that same apartment now is probably $2,000.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, easy. Then it was just great. I just go around the corner, go to the gym, and when you get in there, it was, Arnold had this rule. He says, well, guys, now we all get there at 10 o'clock. You give 5 minutes to be late. Otherwise, you have to catch up. I remember one time Arnold came in late. Oh, well, guys, you started without me. Hey, you made the rule. 5 minutes and we go without you. Arnold was really great, man. He really brought a lot of energy to the table.
Yeah.
Jim, I mean, it was great. I mean, we had a little. Now, Joe Gold didn't like music in the gym, but he was never there. So we had a radio that we had. Yeah, we had to have some music. So Waller had the thing there. Now Waller was the manager.
Ken Waller, yeah.
Yeah, everybody thought he was such a bad person. He was the nicest person you would ever want to see. When I first came there, I came into the gym. Bill Grant. Yes, okay. He helped everybody. He showed us where to go eat, where we can get our cars fixed. where you can go buy clothes, and he just taught us everything. He's such a great person. I mean, so anybody out there, just because you saw Pumping Iron and Waller did this thing with Mike, but it was all set up.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing that Waller would have done anybody, but he looked pretty convincing.
Yeah.
He really looked pretty convinced, and everybody hated him. So don't hate Ken. If you meet this guy, he's the sweetest, nicest guy you'd ever want to see.
Yeah.
So it was really good, man. We came in, we broke off in groups to train. Now Arnold and them trained 6 days a week. I couldn't do that kind of workout. Arnold did twice a day. Chest back in the morning on Monday, then Tuesday. Chest back in the morning, and at night they came in and did legs. Now for me, how do you do back that same day and then squat?
I know.
There's no way in hell. I tried to train with him. I lost weight the first week. I couldn't do it. I trained 4 days a week. I trained a lot with Eddie Giuliani. Love Eddie from Brooklyn. All East Coast guys there was almost nobody there was from California.
Yeah.
Everybody was from somewhere else. Man.
Now, who would Arnold train with, Bill?
Well, beg your pardon?
Who would Arnold train with?
Arnold trained a lot in the beginning with Rick Drayson.
Mm-hmm.
Then he trained with Denny Gable and Kent Keene. You must know Kent Keene used to live in Florida. He used to train at the Orange Gym, Orange Avenue Gym in Orlando. I love Kent, man. We've been friends for what? We met each other, I think, in Chicago at the Mr. America. Oh God, jeez, 60-something. Oh God. Wow. I really wish I could capture those years back again. It was great. I mean, if you were going to get stuck in a time warp, that's where you'd want to get stuck at.
Yeah.
Me too. The 70s. I could be the rest of my life in the 70s. It was great. I mean, the camaraderie in the gym. Arnold was all great in the gym because we were training. Always says Arnold stops. There, guys. We were dancing around and I said, "Okay, guys, the rest of that time is over. Let's get back to working now." It was great because we break it up, but the energy there was unbelievable. I mean, Arnold might be training over there with Denny Gamble and Kit Keene and me and Eddie Giuliani are on this side. Then Mike Katz would come in. Come over. Surgeon Brett would come.
Yeah.
I remember every summer Mike Katz would come out, because he was a school teacher at the time, so he had the summers off. But you might have seen that picture. There was a picture of Mike Katz. We're at the rack there, and Mike Katz is watching Arnold do, I think he's doing curls or some tricep stuff. And then Waller and I are talking on the other side there. Mm-hmm. So I put a little caption on it on Facebook a long time ago. It says, Mike Katz is eyeing Arnold's training to see how he looks, but Bill Grant and Ken Waller are talking strategy for the next Olympia. See, the one thing is Art Zeller would just walk around the gym. You know what he'd tell us? He'd come in, he says, "Guys, act like I'm not even there." You've seen the pictures in the magazine.
Classic
you could
pictures.
see
the
pictures of nobody even posing, and there were great shots.
Yeah.
I mean, he was great. That picture he took, me and Waller by the pull-down machine standing over here, Mike Katz here, and Arnold over there. What a picture. I can't. And I said, where did you take that picture? So I told you guys, I'm quiet. He was the best. I still today think he's the best bodybuilding photographer ever.
Yeah.
The black and whites I really like.
Yeah.
I really like them better than the color.
Yeah, me
the
too. Black
and white gave something better to it. And Gold's Gym was a hotbed for taking pictures because they had that skylight.
Yeah.
You see the pictures that come out of that gym? Wow, man. I mean, the place lit up. I remember on the other part of pumping iron, the second one, I said, there was so much energy coming out of Gold's Gym when we were there. It could light up the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It was in it. And they said, wow, that was a good bite, boy.
Hey, Bill, I read a story once where you were doing squats with Arnold, and he was so competitive that you did you were supposed to do 12 reps or something, and you did 13, and he got all pissed off.
Right. I was going to tell that one. Yes, man. Oh, God. I never seen a guy so competitive. We decided we do the squats. I'm glad you brought that up. So we, said 12 else. 11, 12. Arnold's done. I'm going, fast forward. I'm in, 12. 13. I was, Bill, what you doing, Bill? I says, what are you doing? You did 13 reps. We agreed to do 12 reps. Oh, you fucking asshole, you. You did one more rep than me. He stormed upstairs, man. You'll never beat me again. I love Arnold. I mean, no matter what. I mean, this guy had the energy, and I mean, he just really didn't want to lose. That's the kind of person you really want to be around.
Yeah.
Arnold didn't believe in losing, and Arnold never say, I can't.
Right.
I can't was in the vocabulary. That's what it had to be. I can and I will. And I wrote. I read that book from Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. I don't know whether you wrote that. You read that book. I read it back and forth when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I outlined those things, and that really actually helped me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, you got to forget about the I can't. You can't. You will, and you can. You can and you will.
Arnold was a lot of fun also in the gym, huh? In addition to training.
Absolutely. Here's the deal. I remember one time, it was in the evening we were training, and it was me, Arnold, Waller. I don't know who else. It was just us three guys in the gym with a couple of the guys who weren't great. But this guy came in and he says, I want to learn how to pose. And we're laughing and starts, oh, yeah, it's fantastic. He wants to learn to pose. Sorry, Arnold, but I just love the way you talk. It's great. And you're a great guy. He says he wants to pose. So Arnold tells Waller, he's, okay, go get the oil, the 30 vapor oil. So he goes out and he comes with a fucking back with motor oil. What's going on? He pops it. And Waller pours, and Arnold says, Bill, this is fantastic. You have to have the oil on so you're shining, and then take the oil and I want you to rub it all over your body now. This guy's putting motor oil. Oh, but he was so stoned, and it was unbelievable. And Arnold says, well, now you have to pay, scream. We're laughing like crazy. I can't believe he did that, man. Arnold was a real jokester. He really was. It was unbelievable. He was just fun to be around, man.
Yeah.
Listen, he was in a place where he wanted to be. He saw his career soaring, and he knew he was going to get where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
He knew it was temporarily, okay, I had to live in that apartment in North Hollywood, don't worry, I could beg. And I remember when he got his first building that he bought.
Yeah.
Up on about 23rd Street. It's on Santa Monica or Wilshire. I think it's 23rd and Wilshire. He bought it because I lived on 20. Me and Jerry Brainerd, we lived in the same building. We were on like 20th Street or something like that. No, Arnold's on 20th. I think we were on 23rd Street.
Okay.
But he bought his first apartment. Kent King lived there too. So it was great, man. He just kept moving up. But hey, when he grew, even though he was thinking about his career and his own, it was just natural that everybody else around him would grow. It was like a movie. You got to have, cast of characters.
Right.
So we were just the cast of characters. He was the star, but we were getting a lot of work.
Yeah.
Tons of work.
Now,
Matter of fact, I think I had more work than Arnold did in the beginning.
Oh, really? In the
I was
movie?
working more than him, yeah.
Now, this being the 70s, Bill, did you guys like party a lot, go to discos, smoke joints, and yeah?
Oh, God, you put me on the spot.
Well, it was the 70s, right? Everybody did that.
Hey, John, come on. It was the 70s.
Yeah.
And all these, like Bill Clinton. Oh, I puffed, but I didn't inhale. Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Stop the shit, man. If you puffed, you inhaled it.
Right.
And come on, you know what? We all did.
Yeah.
Come on. It was the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was doing stuff. I mean, but we managed to keep training.
Yeah.
And let us stop. We were very disciplined, John. That was the one thing.
Right.
During the week, I worked. I had a job. It was all about going to work, making some money. And on the weekends, bingo. But, well, I can't say that because I had to work on the weekends sometimes, so I had different days. But I got off early enough where I could still go out.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be off like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Thursday, Friday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. So every couple of times I'd have 2 weekends of 3 days. But it was a great job, John. I used to work in flight operations in Newark, and that was a pretty dicey job.
Yeah.
But then they had the re-regulation of the airline stuff, and they wanted me to be a load planner. You know what a load planner is? This is the guy that does weights and balances.
Oh, okay.
I didn't fare good in math in school. I cannot take that job. No, that's a very responsible job. I mean, you can kill people. I mean, if you don't balance the weight up when the plane,
right.
I said I couldn't do it. So I went down and worked on the ground crew. But it was great, John. I ate like a horse. Steaks. Those were the times when the airlines had silverware, steaks, lobsters. They were thriving.
Right.
It was thriving too because I had a truck, had my own hair thing. All right, Bill, you're up, man. Your flight's in, another flight's in. Hey, flight's in from Chicago, coming in from Miami, because we know all those flights, they got steaks or lobster.
Right.
John, never had to buy food. I had a truck full of food. So if anybody works United Airlines into the Boise now, you see this, I don't work there anymore, and you don't either, probably. And you guys ate the food too.
Now, Bill, with your competitors, or with your competitions, you started off doing AAU in New Jersey, but when you went to California, were you doing more IFBB shows?
Oh yeah, no. Then the IFBB was in, and I think the AAU was kind of out.
Yeah.
And we had I do remember the one show, what was it? The Mr. International, 1974. That was the year I won the Mr. World.
Yeah.
I just felt a little bit slighted. I'm just going to get it off my chest. I mean, I'm not pissed about anything with that stuff now, but I felt a little bit slighted that year, 74, September. I was in great shape. Louis was in the show.
Yeah.
But I have to really say he wasn't in that great a shape.
That was the one that Arnold and Franco promoted, right?
Right, exactly. And I got it. I got what the deal was. There was no way I could beat Louis that night because the Olympia was coming up, and in the magazines they were touting Arnold and Louis. So if I beat Louis, then it's me and Arnold.
Right.
And they couldn't let that happen. So they said, Arnold said, Bill, don't worry about it. We take care of you later. Shut up now. Don't be an asshole. So they took care of me in 74, and I won the world. But I don't think they had to give it to me. I just wiped them out. Now, I remember Serge Nubret came there, and there's a picture of me and Serge Nubret and Mike Catt.
I saw that picture,
Well, that was 74.
Okay.
Mike Catt, Serge Nubret came and says, Bill, man, my guys, when the world comes, they're going to wipe you out. I says, wow, man, that's a lot of talk, man, at my house, man. You in my house, man, and you talking about how your guys going to wipe me out? What are you doing, man? Let me tell you something. Your guys might as well not even waste their time. I told him. And you saw his face when I was doing that most muscular.
Yeah,
it's like, ooh, maybe I did talk too soon. I wiped them guys out from France, man. Remember, in the Mr. World, I won best back, best arms, best chest, best abs, almost won best legs and most muscular. And so I told Serge Nubret, I said, hey, wow, Serge, what happened, man? Your guys, they lost and I won. But not only did I win, your guys got nothing. I won all the body parts. Back, chest, arms. How do you like that? That was great, wasn't it? Oh, no, you got all pissed off, man. You can't come to Gold's Gym and threaten guys at Gold's Gym how your guys are going to wipe us out, man. Come on, you know what happened. There was every time we went in, Gold's Gym just killed them. Right. There was a Gold's Gym suite that 74. Birdsong won the America. I won the world, and Arnold won the Olympia. You got to call that a clean sweep, Gold's Gym clean sweep, man.
What did you think of Arnold that night, Bill? Everybody said that was his best ever. In
it was. Huh? Matter of fact, you're right. It was. Even Arnold, even Kent King, that was his best ever. This guy was and he even had big legs, man. He was great. Arnold was thick. I couldn't believe it. I says, wow, man, this is Arnold's best outing, man. He looked absolutely. I think at that show, we all peaked because I don't think any of us really looked just as good as that 74. Yeah. I think kind of all peaked, and we stayed in good shape, but I think that was our peak. And I think it was mine. I was only 190. I was only 195 pounds. when I won the Mr. World.
Wow.
Everybody thought I was 6 feet tall because you know how it looks. Franco looks 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Sorry, Franco, I didn't mean it. But you know, when they shoot the pictures, they shoot up.
Right.
So it's great. But when we were preparing for the show, man, we just knew it, man. We were just training, and Arnold was right. Arnold was sharp. I mean, if you're training hard, your competition will be training harder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they want to win just like you want to win.
Right.
But we just trained till we dropped, man. We did everything what we had to do. And think about the size of that gym. Most gyms now are 20,000 to 50,000 square feet. We didn't even have 1,000 square feet.
Really? It was that small? 1,000
Yeah.
square?
It was like
Wow.
about 400 square feet. That's it. It was
Wow.
nothing. It was a dinky little gym, man. People looked at it in the first one. Yeah, it was just a small cinder block building.
Yeah.
And you know how Joe Gold got it built, right?
No.
Does anybody, if people don't know the history, he got a lot of the guys that trained there, they all had trades, plumbers, carpenters, you know. And he gave them all free memberships to help build the gym. And Joe Gold, you know, made all that equipment.
Yeah.
All that he was a tool maker. He was a merchant marine.
Okay.
That's what he did. He was in his garage. He made all the equipment in his garage. Joe Gold was the strangest Vince Gironda. Yeah, he was strange too.
Yeah.
No radios, just like Vince.
Yeah.
No radios. See, that was back in era. You couldn't listen to music. It was distracting. But no, music actually helped you train. I can't train in a gym with no music. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I gotta have a little distraction. You know why? It's because you hear the plates clacking, people, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
music kind of mixes it up.
Right.
But John, it's just been great, man. And I got another great with Arnold. When I was working at United, I remember one day I took my 3 kids to the gym.
Okay.
But that day, I forgot I was supposed to have a meeting at the airport. I couldn't take my kids, and the airport was like 10 minutes away from the gym. But I lived in Hollywood. I was about 35 minutes away. I couldn't do it.
Right.
So I'm looking around the gym. Okay, this is going to be a little dicey. I got to find one of these bodybuilders that I can trust watching my kids for a couple hours. Wow. Who am I going to ask to do this? I'm looking around the gym and looking and on Arnold says, okay, he might be able to do this. Arnold, listen, can you do me a favor? I said, I got a meeting today at the airport about an hour. I said, but I don't have to take my kids home, and I really can't take them. I need somebody to watch them. Please help me out. Bill, don't worry about it. I take the kids. I says, but Arnold, remember now, you know, if anything happens to those kids, my wife is going to kill me and you. So, right about it. Just go to the meeting. So I went to the meeting. I came back and I'm thinking, oh man, my kids are right. So I come back. I see the kids and I said, oh, Dad, great time. Oh, wow. Can we go to them again? He took us to the beach, the monkey bars, Donald's. We were playing on the beach. Oh, we had, oh, and I'm like, almost like, woo, boom. I'm like, wow. Yeah. He babysitted my kids one time. I tell that story and people can't believe it. No, Arnold was great. He was great with the kids, and he was actually great with kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, as time went on, you saw he did the kids thing. You
Special
know,
Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah, and he really liked the kids, man, and it was so great that he did that.
Yeah.
And we got along very well. He used to invite me to his parties with the stars there. I mean, we got along real well.
Yeah.
And Arnold did real good for him. And the thing is yeah, he elevated bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. So no matter what detractors are saying, you know, bodybuilding is in the place it's in now because of pumping iron and Arnold. Okay, the rest of us there, but he needed a star. He needed a spokesman. He was a spokesman, and he did a great job. And he's still doing a great job,
yeah,
you know, doing the bodybuilding thing. I mean, he's got his show going in Spain, South America, Australia.
right.
I mean, it's been a great run, man. I mean, just being there with all the guys, Dave Gable, Kid King, Bob Birdsong, and the partying. Yes, I'll go back to that now. Yeah, we did everything, man. My night was Saturday night. I said, listen, I don't train on Sunday. I'm going out and I'm going to go to the disco. Discos, man. You should have seen us, man. I had the big platform shoes, the afro, man, with the big plows, the bell bottoms, man. Right. Yeah, we was cool, man. We was cool. and we just partied down. Oh, yeah. It was cheap back then. Everything was cheap. The weed was, booze was cheap. Food was cheap.
Right.
LA was cheap back in the day. Now, my girlfriend and I moved into an apartment on 2nd Street, just up the street from Gold's Gym, north of Wilshire. If you're north of Wilshire, they say you probably got some money. But anyway, we had an apartment, had a sunken living room, had a closet, a walk-in closet that could have been a room. Had a sun roof on the deck. Had a den, and geez, we paid. Oh, a swimming pool too. 2 blocks off the beach.
Mm-hmm.
$400 a month.
Wow.
Come on, Jack. That's incredible, right? 2 blocks off the beach.
Crazy.
They just didn't know what they had.
Right. Well, Bill, I'll tell you what. Let's take a commercial break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, I want to ask you a little bit more about the book and the movie Pumping Iron and some of your other shows.
Okay, very good.
All right, we'll be right back with the Bodybuilding Legend Show.
Hey, this is Derek and Eric, DNC Boys Live.
Come check us out, Tampa's leader in sports nutrition since 1996, dncsupplements.com.
Now serving 2 locations, DNC Supplements 54 in Land Lakes.
All right, we're back with the Bodybuilding Legend Show. My guest today is legendary bodybuilder Bill Grant from the 1970s, who won the 1974 Mr. World. Bill, let's talk a little bit about Pumping Iron, because I know you were both featured in the book and the movie Pumping Iron. What did you think of Charles Gaines and George Butler when they came into Gold's Gym in 1973, and they were writing a book about bodybuilding?
It was great. I mean, I didn't realize what they were doing.
Yeah.
And we welcomed in. We said, hey, it'd be great if we had a book about bodybuilding. And those guys came in, just like Art Zeller. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm just taking pictures. Taking pictures. Then interviewing and talk to people. And I said, it's a lot of books about bodybuilding. And they really didn't. The public didn't get it. They said, we're gonna really make bodybuilding big. And of course, I thought about it, and I says, "Oh shit, yeah, okay." You got the magazine, Joe Weed. That's about as big as we're going to get. That's what I think. And they says, "No, we're going to. You guys are going to be real famous. Bodybuilding is going to be known around the world." And I said, "Okay, I'll buy into it. What the hell? You know, can't hurt, can't lose anything, can only gain it."
How long were they there, Bill, in the gym shooting and stuff?
They were there for a long time.
Oh, really?
For months, yeah. They were around constantly doing stuff. I mean, photo shoots that were done, they probably stayed there about 6 months.
Yeah.
Any photo shoots like we did at Weeders, like you saw pictures of stuff when Arnold, they came there and they'd shoot pictures on that, and they were very, very thorough.
Yeah.
They really knew what they wanted to do. And they knew Arnold was the guy to be the star. Now remember also Jerry. You know who Jerry Ragney is? Remember the show Hair?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he used to come to the gym.
Okay.
And he wanted Arnold to be in the play.
Yeah.
Hair, but Arnold said no because he had to be naked. She said, "Honestly, no." But he liked Jerry Ragney. He says, "Oh, it's a great idea, but I didn't want it." And Jerry Ragney wasn't mad about it. He just figured get Arnold, because Arnold wasn't a big star yet at all.
Right.
But he figured, hey, maybe it might make you a star. But Arnold figured, I got Pumping Iron, I'll be a star. But at any rate, that's great. But it was so nice that these guys came in and, wanted to publicize, bodybuilding. And it was great. The time, it's all about timing with a lot of stuff. And the time was right. Now, remember, we talked about Steve Reeves. It was like Steve Reeves was in the 50s. So maybe every 25, 30 years, things, come back and repeat itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of movies that come back and repeat themselves.
Right.
So, this was the time. it was our time. It was just a special time that we had, and like I said, it's never going to come again.
Yeah.
I mean, but it just gave credibility to bodybuilding, because look around. Not only do you see just regular people bodybuilding, you see stars out there working out and exercising.
Yeah.
Those are people that would probably have never worked out to get any kind of muscle to be in front of a camera. But now they got to look good in front of a camera. They got to have a couple of lumps and bumps, even the girls.
Yeah.
So, we did make a difference.
Yeah.
We made a difference in what people think about exercise, their bodies. And the one thing that is a little bit sad, John, is like all these gyms, all these new gyms and this and that, they all take credit for what's going on. It's like, wow, bodybuilding really didn't get much credit for all these little new things they've got out there, these new programs. It's all from bodybuilding. That's where you got it from. Can you just, admit that we're the ones inspired all of this?
Yeah.
It all grew up from what we did.
Right.
Oh, we don't get any credit for that stuff. Then they even make a gym. They don't even want bodybuilders in it.
I know.
Well, who are these people?
I know.
You're opening it up because we're the ones that made it this way, and now you don't even want us to come there to work out.
Right.
A bunch of scumbags, man. Unbelievable. But,
Hey, Bill, when George Butler came back then in 1975 and they were filming the movie after they did the book, were you featured? Were they filming some more stuff with that? I know you were a little bit in the movie, but you weren't one of the featured players.
well, they had a lot of stuff, but unfortunately, we had a little disagreements, and I think they were pretty upset about me because they had to tack out some more money.
Okay.
My thing was I liked what they were doing, but I was a little annoyed. I know they had paid Arnold some money, and I was a little annoyed. I said, we're not looking for a lot of money, but I said, don't you think we should just get what extras would get in a movie? I mean, $100 a day, They got mad at me for that, but I told all the guys we shouldn't do this unless we get some kind of money, and they got really pissed at me because I started a further over, man. So they cut mostly all my shit right out. They did a lot of stuff, but I mean, I think in the end they knew I was right. You got to pay the guys something. We're not asking for tons of money, just something, man. Just to make a meal.
Right.
I can. Pay my rent, for a month or something. But it was good, and it still turned out well. I mean, we got over the difference, and I think they understood too. That it's probably fair for everybody to get something. So everybody got $100 a pop, and I liked it, and it was fun. And it went on, and they kept my stuff in the book, and they kept me at the end. And still, I can say I was a part of it, and I was still in the film just a little, but I was in the book. But for me, I was still part of that history, and it was just fun, and it was like, John, I think about this constantly. About wow, man, when I go back to California to the Muscle Beach shows, it's like you're standing there, and I always go by Gold's. The building is still there, and we always told those guys, Pete and them, to buy that building. That's a landmark.
Yeah.
Producer, actually, a movie producer, owns that building.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That for me is a landmark. I mean, Gold's Gym. I live at Gold's Gym. That building. Come on, it's history. It's history.
Right.
It's unbelievable, man. Wow, and it was just so much fun with the filming. And Mike Katz was there, and they were in the gym all day, just taking up the space. And it was hot in the gym because they had to close block off the windows, and couldn't have the doors open. And it was kind of chaotic. But it was all good. It was all good chaos. Good chaos, not bad.
Hey, Bill, I was looking at your contest history, and I saw, like, in 71 and 72, you were doing some WBBG shows, which was Dan Laurie shows. Were those out in New York?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a little history about that. Dan Laurie actually had captured all of Joe's guys. We were all with Dan Laurie. You know that.
Yeah.
Ken Waller, myself, Sergio Oliva, Serge Nubret. I mean, Dennis Torino. Joe was pissed, but, WBBG wanted to start giving out money.
Yeah.
We were thinking money. And I won the Mr. America in 1972. I beat Louis at that competition. Louis was 18 years old. I'm about 6 years older than Louis, maybe maybe 5 years older than Louis.
Okay.
And it was really great, man, because he and I went to the universe together. Well, Dan Louis paid everything, everything, and Louis got even. He beat me.
At the NAB of Mr. Universe, right, in 1972, yeah.
It was great, man. It was beautiful, man. It was just a great thing, man. It just when you just really look back and it's like, wow. Suppose I didn't come to California, I wouldn't have been part of this whole special thing with pumping iron. If I couldn't have gotten out there, I mean, the luck was on my side. I got a job where I could finally, just move out to California and go to Gold's Gym. That was my goal. It really was, John. I said, I got to be at Gold's Gym. Guy, I mean, you can't win if you're not at Gold's Gym.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is at that point in time, you had to be in California if you wanted to be a great bodybuilder, because that's where Joe was. But now that has changed too. You don't have to be in California, be in the magazines. But back then, he wanted to bring Sergio. I think that was the problem with Sergio. Sergio didn't want to move.
Yeah.
Yep. He wanted Sergio to be in LA.
Yeah.
And Sergio just loved Chicago.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to leave. And it kind of factored him out of a lot of stuff because he wasn't there for photo shoots and stuff like that. And and I think too the same thing. If I was still in the East Coast, even in that kind of shape, and tried to get against the guys from Gold's Gym, I probably wouldn't win either. Right. Nobody would know who I was.
Right.
So I was grateful that I got a lot of attention. I got a lot of publicity. And by the way, I knew Joe Weider since I was 15 years old. When Joe Weider was, he was in New Jersey.
Right.
In Union City, 801 Palisades Avenue. I never forgot the address. Leroy Vogel worked there. Harold Poole worked there. I remember walking in that day. For all you guys who never saw Joe Weider, got a chance to talk to him, I was a kid. I just boldly went in. Yeah. I want to see Joe Weider. And he says, you can't see Joe Weider. Hey, why? I want to see Joe Weider. I came over here just to see him. And he happened to walk out. Don't worry about it. Let the guy come. Let the kid come over. Come on. So I goes, how you doing? What's your name? I'm Bill. I says, you're Joe Weider, man. Wow, man. I was like, wow, you're Joe Weider, the Master Blaster. Man, Ken, you're a bodybuilder, huh? It's great. And I go over a couple of times and say, I'm going to sell the building. I'm going to move to California. I said, oh, please, you're not moving to California. Oh, yes, Bill, I'm moving to California. Next thing he had it for sale up in the building. Next thing I was like, whoa, he left. I got to go to California. That made me go to California because I'll never be in the magazine if I stay here.
Yeah.
And I remember following him out. And, it's like, wow, I'm here, Joe. Oh yeah, what a building he had. Now you know the place where his building was.
Right.
He bought that. It was the Warner Center. Now you know why it was called the Warner Center. That used to be the Warner Brothers backlot. That's where they shot the westerns. Out in that area, there was nothing out there. It was just mountains, rocks, and there was nothing. Yeah. That whole area out there, I can't believe what they did. And he bought the property, he built the building, everything, $1 million.
Wow. Now,
that building now is worth about $25 million. Matter of fact, when he sold it, not only did he sold the magazines, they had to rent the building to work in. Joe was savvy, man. Wow, man. $250 million he sold that magazine for.
Wow. Hey, Bill, I wanted to ask you, you just mentioned Sergio Oliva, and you were a part of that contest in Tijuana, Mexico, right? In 1973, the IFBB Mr. International, when Sergio won, he challenged Arnold to come up on stage.
How'd you know that, man? Yeah, that was great, man. Eddie Silvestri.
Yeah.
The guy used to run it down in Tijuana. We used to love, Tijuana was our spot because that's where we got our things from.
Yeah.
And it was cheap. Nothing what these guys paid for. But at any rate, yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a little spark and a little tension there. Arnold was there, and he challenged Arnold to come up on the stage. Yeah, that was great, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think I lost that year. Did I lose that year? Did I win that? I think Birdsong won that.
You got second to Birdsong, right?
Yeah, Birdsong won it that way. I was upset, and I was like, what the fuck? We're all going out to see, that's the one thing about us. If we beat each other still, we still shook hands and we went out to have a party.
Yeah, yeah.
We were still, I think more so than any other group of guys, we just clumped together. We went out together. We went to eat together. We went to the discos together.
Yeah.
We went to the beach together.
Right.
We went everywhere together.
Right.
Piles of guys, couple of cars. We'd all hang out, go down to Palm Springs. Now that was the place because we'd go down and get a tan. Now, I mean, people look at me, Grant, get a tan. Yeah, but I had to get a tan too.
Right.
So we'd go down there. It was nice. It was quiet. It was 100-something degrees. We loved it, man.
Right.
Kent, I love Kent though. He's a good friend of mine. He'd sit there, man, like a damn turtle. And I said, Kent, turn over, get in the water, man. He just we'd be right near the pool, and when it got too hot, like woo, we just roll over and fall into the pool. It was great, man. I mean, going to Palm Springs was 2 hours away.
Right.
For me, back in the day, LA was the place. It was really the place. It was the bomb, as you call it. I mean, I just driving around on the highways, everything was so spread out. The streets, the boulevards, the streets were huge.
Yeah.
See, New Jersey, the streets are all dinky, small and stuff. I mean, California, everything's big, sprawl, like that, you know. But wow, man.
Let me ask you about that show in '73. You know, being like a bodybuilding fan, like all of us are. You know, we always go Sergio, Arnold, Sergio. Who was better? If Sergio would have competed in Mr. Olympia that year in '73, looking how he did at the Mr. International, you think he would have beat Arnold?
He might have. There was one show I think probably he should have won. Remember the 1972 Olympia in Essence? That's when I was at the Universe at the same time.
Okay.
And Frank Zane was there too because Frank was in that thing. But that year, even Arnold thought he should have lost. He says, "Oh, I would win." He says, "Sergio would." Sergio was at the top of his game. He was the best.
Yeah.
He was the best. He actually should have won. But I love the one thing when I can't remember the place we had that show at, the Olympia. Arnold and Sergio were on stage and they were having a pose down.
Oh yeah, New York, yeah.
And Arnold says, "Oh, okay, we got to get off the stage." And Sergio's going down, went behind. Arnold got down and ran back out. Break, boom. Hey, listen, it wasn't. Arnold is a competitor.
Right.
Listen, in sports, when you compete, you got to think about how you can psych out your opponent out and how you're going to beat them.
Right.
And Arnold says, "Hey, I got to beat this guy." And I think that was a hard show. So he knew, he said, "I got to do something fancy.
Right.
I got to put his ass." So it made it look like Sergio was walking off the stage.
Right.
That's what happened.
Right.
And Arnold came back. Like, they didn't tell him to go off the stage. And Sergio left, so they gave it to Arnold.
Yeah.
They figured he left in defeat. Arnold was slick, man. He was good. I mean, you just had to watch him, man. Look what he did with Mike Menser and stuff. He just psychs everybody out, man. Unbelievable.
Now, Bill, when you were doing the Olympia after Arnold stopped competing and he started promoting it in Columbus, and you did it that first year in '76. What were your thoughts about that show when Franco won and Franco beat Zane by 1 point, I think? Because you did pretty well in that show. You got fourth place. You beat Boyer Coe that year.
I think Frank should have really won it.
Really?
Frank,
Okay.
I think very more aesthetic. And it's not a knock on Franco. I love Frank. He had a good physique, but not a physique to be a guy like Frank Zane.
Yeah.
Franco didn't have the real lines. He was a thick bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Don't get me, but he didn't have all that detail.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Zane had detail,
Yeah.
and he knew what to do. He was a real professional.
Yeah.
He had stage presence, and he knew how to show himself. Now you think about this: the guy who won the Mr. Olympia 3 times and was one of the smallest Mr. Olympias ever. But look how great he looked.
Right.
He just outdid everybody.
Yeah.
The guy had a great physique. There was nothing that was fantastic that stuck out on him, but everything was in place. That's the epitome of being a bodybuilder.
Right.
Symmetry.
Yeah.
He had all of it, the lines, proportions, everything. Frank was something that the public really would look up to, and they did. They looked, "Oh, I could probably look like this guy." And most of us guys, a lot of people back in the day said, "Okay, we'd have to work real kind of hard to get that way, to look like that." But it's sad because today when people see shows, is how many drugs do you have to do to get looked at it. It's a little disheartening when you see that. Even though we did it back in the day, I don't think it factored in when people looked at it because it didn't look like we were really on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And we still had the form. We still had the nice waist. Even Arnold. Arnold had a wide waist, but you see why what he did. He did all the pose that makes his waist look small.
Right.
He twisting shots. He gave a vacuum to the side and stuff. It gave him that illusion. And that's what we call Frank Zane, an illusionist.
Yeah.
The guy was an illusionist. I mean, you look at him and like, wow, he looks great. And if you see him standing there, it's like, damn, that guy was Mr. Olympia. When you see him on stage. And the one thing about Frank Zane, about 5 weeks before the show, he would disappear to Palm Springs, 5 or 6 weeks before. But he wasn't in shape. You look at him, he looked like the wall, flat. Nothing. Oh, please, God, this is not going to make it.
Yeah.
6 weeks, he disappeared, and you wouldn't see him until the show. Then when you see him, it's like, it's not Frank Zane. Holy shit. He was tan, ripped, tight. I don't know. We used to call him the doctor. He had the black bag. We say, Frank, man, you're the doctor. You got the black bag. What's in that black bag today, Frank? Oh man, it was. I'm telling you, those years were just. Those were the golden years.
Yeah.
They can talk about the golden years all they want at this age. No, the golden years were us guys at Gold's Gym from with Vince in the 60s to the 70s and early 80s. Those were the golden years of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I got so many memories with those days, and it keeps me going because I just look back and find different scenarios that we were in. Let me think about that. Remember, we went down to Palm Springs and we did this. And there's one little thing. Waller was a trickster too. Me, him, and Kent Keene were at the place called the Germans. That's the place we used to eat at right down the street.
Okay.
And so we're eating and having coffee and stuff. So I turn around, I'm looking around, and I come back and I'm just staring for a while. And so Waller and Kent are laughing like crazy, man. I said, so fucking funny, man. I'm drinking my coffee. Waller put about 20 packs of sweetener in my damn coffee, and I didn't even recognize. Kent says, you didn't even recognize. You drank the whole damn cup of coffee, and fucking Waller put out 20 packages in your damn thing. I said, Waller, you fucking... Oh, Jesus. He was a jokester, I'm telling you what. He was fun, man. He was fun.
Hey, Bill, tell us that story about Waller when Dan Laurie didn't pay him for the contest.
Oh, you knew about that, huh? I remember that day. That came in and Dan had all this money, and Waller had won. And
this is a WBBG contest, right?
Right. And he was looking for the money, got the money, and he said, "Just say what you promised me." I said, Dan Laurie now, guys out there, girls, listen to this. Dan Laurie had a wad of money in his hand, and Waller grabbed the money in his hand, out of his hand. He counted up what was his, and he gave him the rest of the back. He wasn't stealing anything. He just, this is what you owe me. Now here's your change. What was Dan Laurie going to do? Hit Waller? I don't think so. Waller just didn't take shit from nobody, and he didn't like unfairness.
Yeah.
Really didn't. He truly didn't like unfairness. If it was me or anybody else, he would have stuck up for you.
Yeah.
He just didn't like that kind of crap going on. And when you cross Waller, you're in trouble. Are in trouble when you mess with Waller, man. Yeah, he had his fun on the weekends too. He used to get fights, man, that were unbelievable.
Fights, yeah.
Fights with 4 or 5 guys at a time. And
really?
Beat shit out of them all.
Wow.
He liked the fight. Well, it was Friday night or Saturday night. You had too many. He'd go up in the bar, girl sitting with her boy. He's, hey, man. It's my girlfriend now. Oh, wow, what are you doing? Dan Howard used to say, wow, what the fuck are you doing, man? We're in a bar. We're going to get no... Don't worry about it. And tell the guy who's his girlfriend. What, are you going to fight me? Oh, Waller was tough. He was tough. And he, matter of fact, wouldn't let anybody do anything to anybody else either. He was a great guy. So for all those guys out there, girls that thought Ken Waller was the worst ever in pumping iron. If you really knew the guy, he was great. It's like you see bad guys in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that guy's an ass. In the real life, the guy's
Right.
he's got kids. He goes. He has a charity. He's doing.
Right.
He's a killer. All right, that's the way Waller was. When he was up, he'd be nuts.
Yeah.
He was great.
Hey, Bill, let me throw a few names out at you from some of the guys from that era, and you could just give me your, some brief thoughts about them. What about Robbie Robinson? One of the bigger stars of the late '70s.
Yeah, I remember when Robbie first came to the gym. Check this out. Waller would always have to initiate somebody into the club. Waller says, "Watch this. I'm gonna see if Robbie could be in the club." So he went over. All right, we're gonna squat today. So him and Robbie started squatting. 135, 2 1/4, 275, 315, 365, 405. Waller says, "Okay, you're in the club." Waller was strong, but I used to always love teasing him because getting to the show, he had this. I'd always come in with oil on my arms and stuff, and he already put. The hell is that, Grant? Oil? He says, "Let me tell you something. You only got to be in shape one time out of the year, and I'm going to be that way." He says, "But Waller, guess what? I'm already there, and I will be there then." He gets so pissed off because you start getting smaller, and me and Birdsong, we're getting bigger. And Arnold, me, Birdsong, and Arnold got bigger. Everybody
The
was
show got closer, yeah.
and he looked at us like, "Fucking asses, man. They're getting bigger and I'm getting smaller." That can really hurt somebody's psyche. That's how I got even. Yeah, you're losing and I'm gaining. You better be ready.
What'd you think about Mike Mentzer when he first came into the gym?
Mike was great. Matter of fact, he stayed in my apartment when he first came. I had a 3-bedroom apartment. Me and Larry. What's Larry? Oh boy. He used to look just like Mike, and Mike stayed there, and Mike was great. I mean, he had this philosophy, and guess what? A lot of people didn't buy into it. A lot I didn't, but it worked for him.
Yeah.
He looked really great. He had a good physique, man. He had a great physique.
Yeah.
Thick, hard, strong. I mean, he did that Nautilus type thing, and I watched him train that way.
Yeah.
This guy got in shape, man. He was in better condition and stuff even than Arnold.
Yeah.
All of us. He was conditioned, this guy. I wish he was still here, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What
Wow.
about,
he was good.
What about Danny Padilla?
Oh, yeah. The giant killer. Danny was loved. Everybody loved Danny, man. He was great. Little short guy, but this guy looked great.
Yeah.
He had fun. He'd hang out. I mean, all these guys that you're talking about, everybody just had fun together. I just loved all these guys, man. We just got along. I mean, we were like family.
Yeah.
I mean, we were the odd guys out. I mean, back in that day, before pumping iron, people look at us like, freaks. But then when pumping iron came out, wow, we were gods then, man. Oh, matter of fact, I did a pilot with George Burns and Pat Boone.
Wow.
I did. We did the show, and then we did the pilot, but it didn't really work though. But if you looked on the Johnny Carson show one time, George Burns, we talked. He made a shirt, the one and only Bill Grant.
Oh, really?
and he wore it on television.
Wow, great.
Everybody said, "Hey, Bill, man, did you see this? Burns, he's got a one and only Bill Grant. The guy was. What did you do to the guy?" It was great. I couldn't believe I was sitting with George Burns. I mean, I was at home, with the sick. I says, "I can't believe I'm sitting with this guy. I used to see him on TV."
Yeah, right.
Too. I met his daughter, the singer.
Yeah.
And it was, John, I mean, it was like a dream come true for a kid from a little town in Jersey, man. I mean, all these people I seen on TV, now all of a sudden, I'm actually working with them. I mean, it's really...
Hey, Bill, tell us about that parade you guys did on July 4th for the America in '77.
Yeah. Ken Sprague is a genius, man. Wow, he's a genius. Well, let's put it this way. That parade, when with the float, I said, but I told Ken, and I said, Ken, I want to be on the elephant. He says, man, you don't want to be on the elephant. Don't worry. Flower and those guys. Well, I was going to go on the elephant, and so was Dave Dupree. I got the spot for you. You're the man now. You're going to be on the float. Really? Wow. I was so honored.
Wow.
So honored. Tony Pearson was down in the drop there, and the girl was my girlfriend. And I think somebody else was there too. I think Andreas Collin was on that float too.
Okay.
But they had about 100,000 people lining up Ocean Avenue. It was the best. You'll never see anything like that again either.
No.
A bodybuilding parade
I know.
with 100,000 people. I mean, it was packed. And you got to understand, Kent Keene was left at the gym, because people came in. They sold so many T-shirts. There was so much money. Kent was putting it in the drawer. Then he had to put it in bags.
Yeah.
That's how much money they made.
Wow.
I think then it was like, I think he made $15,000 to $20,000 worth of shirts.
Wow.
But now today, that would probably be like $70,000, $80,000 worth of shirts.
Jeez.
I mean, that's how popular it was. The news, everything, man.
Yeah.
That was the best parade ever. And then I liked it because he set it up. I had to walk out Mae West remember she was at the show.
Yeah.
It was the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium is still closed. It's a landmark. They don't want to tear it down. They're trying to get donations, and you would think if you were very, very wealthy living in Santa Monica, you would give money.
Yeah.
I mean, say you want to raise there and your family's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you would be getting together like, yo, I was doing this when I was a kid. I don't want them to tear that down or do anything.
Right.
They're having a hard time getting people to put. I don't understand that.
Hmm.
All those rich people in California, Bel Air.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to help fix this place. LA is like that sometimes. They don't hold on to landmarks like they should.
Yeah.
They really should. And that's a place. And meeting Mae West, John, that was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Legend. I'm thinking Mae West out on stage. Mae West? Wow. And she had that line, Dave Johns won the America that year.
Right.
She says, is that a gun in your pocket or you're just happy to see me, big boy? The audience wait for him and you're standing there with a fucking piece of drink with the trunks on and she's talking, is that a gun in your pocket? Like, oh, come on, man. Everybody they were going nuts. I couldn't believe it. She really said that shit? He's standing there with just his trunks on. Is that a gun in your pocket? Just happy to see me, big boy. Oh, I'm laughing too because it was still funny. Jerry Brainerd would say a joke and start laughing. He's Grant, it's funny. This is the first time I heard it too. Sickness prevails, man. Jerry Brainerd was the guy you wanted to hang around with. That's the guy he wanted to hang out with too. He was so fun. He could have been a comedian.
Really?
Jerry, a couple of glasses of wine, and that boy was gone, man. Bill Dobbins had a party one night. I remember. Jerry was there. Come on, Jerry, let's have some wine and stuff. Jerry had everybody rolling, man. This guy is so talented, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jerry is a very talented guy, man, but he gives the jokes, and it was like, wow, man. I mean, now you can see all the fun you would have there. I mean, it was perpetual fun. Even though I had a job, I mean, I liked the job because I didn't work my ass off. Working in the airlines, I only worked when planes came in.
Right.
Not sitting around eating, talking.
Right.
And Arnold would always come in and, hey, Bill, your buddy Arnold's up there. He's going to Aspen. He's going skiing. Yeah, damn ass. I got to work. He's going skiing.
Hey, Bill, I want to ask you about a couple more shows. In '78, that was when professional bodybuilding was really just starting to take off, and they had that Night of the Champion show, the very first one, and you got third place in that show. That was one of your highest placings ever, right?
Yeah, and I love that. I remember that. Wayne D'Amelia was great. He was absolutely fantastic doing shows. Well, he had a television guy working with him, too.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what to do with the staging. And he loved this stuff when I danced to the crazy little music. And all the guys kind of got pissed off because I had my own fog, lights, and he said, "You guys can do it too. I didn't pay for this stuff. Grant bought this stuff himself.
Yeah.
I bought my own fog machine and everything." Man.
Yeah, because people may not realize it, but back then in the 70s, bodybuilders didn't even pose their own music, right? And I mean, that pretty much started in 78 with the Night of the Champions, right?
Exactly. And it's like I told Wayne, I said, "Hey, man, we got to be creative. This is entertainment." I really believe that to this day, bodybuilding is still, I think it's a sport and it's still entertainment as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can say bodybuilding is not a sport, but you would say ice skating is a sport. But it's ice skating is what's what I want to tell you. It's judged the same way bodybuilding is.
Subjectively, yeah.
Weights you have those things you have to do at the pre-judging thing. You got to do all that stuff, and then you have your own routine at night.
Right.
So what makes that any different than bodybuilding? It's judged the same way.
Right.
So I don't understand this. We have pre-judging in the morning. We got to do mandatory. Okay, they had to do mandatory skating stuff.
Yeah.
We have to do mandatory poses. Then at night you got your free poses. So what's the difference?
Right.
They got free skating. We got free posing, and they still call us a sport. It's unbelievable.
And then I remember that show you did in '84 when Al Beckles won the Pro World, and you were dancing. It was on NBC.
Oh yeah.
You guys were all dancing in the pose now, right?
Up in Toronto, man. It was great, man. I loved it, man. I was living in Sweden at the time.
Okay.
Sweden, Switzerland. It was great. I had a gym right across the border when I lived from Switzerland, France. I was selling equipment in the southern part of Europe for a guy who had a gym there. I was working there, and the guy had all the equipment. So I just go to my apartment, my girlfriend and I, and drive around the corner, and we're in France. And I trained, and we were like only 3 people in the gym training in that early in the morning. It was great. I really got in the best shape ever. And matter of fact, my Swedish girlfriend really gave me the best diet I ever had. I got ripped. That's when I was in great shape. She made the diet. I was never good at doing diets because I never really dieted. John, when I won the Mr. World, I didn't go on a diet. I was eating everything. These guys are eating like nothing, man. I'm eating like a pig. Man, what's up with this? But Waller could eat. These guys could eat. And Waller ate a lot. We had a eating contest. We used to go to Dinah's Chicken. If you've ever been to LA, there was a place called Dinah's Chicken, all you can eat. I think on Tuesday or Thursday or Monday and Thursday. But at any rate, we were there, all the chicken you can eat. So, and it was only like about $2 and something.
Okay. Wow.
So at any rate, Waller and I having a contest. I'm eating and eating and eating and eating. I had 23 pieces of chicken, and Waller ate about 35. He says, "Grant, what's wrong, man? Come on, I'm still ready." I said, "Oh, forget it, man. I can't eat it." 23 pieces of chicken I ate. Yeah. And when they bring it to you, you got to have the sides. Or they have cream spinach or carrots or mashed potato. You have to eat that too. When they bring you a new plate of that, you got to eat that too.
Damn.
Oh, shit. I can't believe I ate that much, John. I just can't believe it. But Waller could eat, man.
Yeah.
Larry Gordon, that's the guy.
Yeah, I remember him.
He could eat. Larry Gordon looked like Menser, and they both were all living in the same place.
Oh, okay.
Is that your brother? Because he looked like Menser.
Yeah, he did.
And, he lives in what is it? Palm Beach? No, is it East Palm Beach or not East? Palm Beach Gardens. No, he lives in Palm Beach Gardens. That's where I was at a couple of months ago. Yeah,
Florida.
Yeah, Florida. I was down there.
Okay.
I drove a client's car down there, but it was great to see Larry again too.
Wow.
I mean, John. There's so many stories. It really is.
We could be here all night.
All the questions, man. You're doing good with this, man. These are little tidbits that people never heard about.
Right.
It's really
what about the '84 Olympia when Lee Haney won and Sergio made his comeback? What were your thoughts about that show? Because I know you were in that show, right?
Yeah, I was in it. I really liked that year, and Sergio was still. I think maybe Sergio could have been in the what space? What place did he get?
He got eighth. He got eighth.
Eighth?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe sixth, but it was great. I mean, everybody loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still
Yeah.
Sergio, man.
Yeah.
And the guy kept going and going and going. I mean, he still had that body.
Yeah.
It still wasn't like it was before, but he still had a great physique.
Yeah.
How old was he at that time? About 50-something?
I think he was in his 40s, mid-40s maybe.
He still looked great.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. Wow. And then Lee Haney. I mean, you can see all the stars just came and went.
Yeah.
In this bodybuilding thing. I mean, I remember Sean Ray and those guys just came up. They're gone out quite a while now.
Yeah.
It's a whole new crop of guys. And those guys are gone.
What'd you think of Lee Haney when he first came up, Bill?
Wow. He was great. But you know who we really got scared of?
Who?
Johnny Morant. He always worried about Johnny Morant from Diamond Gym.
Oh,
That's
really?
Right. Yeah. He was all, and let me tell you, Johnny Morant would have gave him a real run for his money, baby.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Oh, you remember him, right?
Yeah, sure.
Man, can you imagine? But Lee Haney had that nice shape, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just like that, and we kind of got off course a little.
Yeah.
But, people still love bodybuilding, but unfortunately, I talk to a lot of the younger bodybuilders, and they don't want to look like that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to look like the guys from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They want to have that classic looking physique. Now, there's this guy, Rami, what's his name? Rami or something?
Rami, yeah.
The guy, the black guy, the big guy he was second, I think, at the Arnold Classic or third, had real nice small waist and a nice shape. I can't remember that guy's name.
Cedric McMillan, is that what you're talking about?
No, not Cedric. It's the other guy. Oh, shit. Somebody just told me his name the other day. But he's got that real small waist, and he really looks great. And I think he got second at the Arnold Classic, or third. That tells me something. That says they're moving towards the 70s and 80s again.
Yeah.
They really want to try and get that back in there again, and I think they should.
Yeah.
Hey, people loved it.
Right.
The average Joe would look at that and say, yes, I'd like to look like that.
Right. That's what they got.
I remember guys would come up to me, and older guys that would just, I'd like to have a physique like you guys.
Yeah.
They liked what we had.
Right.
Today, it's really hard to find guys that say, I really, really want to look like. They like looking at it. It's great. It's pleasing to them to look, but
they don't want to look like it.
Most people don't want to look like that. Right. I think maybe they're really trying to change it, and I think they should. I think we'd probably get a lot of better press if we did.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, they never even said a lot of stuff about any drugs with us. Yeah. I mean, they asked about it. Well, because we didn't look like we were doing too much, so they figured out.
Right.
They're not living on that shit. They're training.
Right.
And I think people have to understand we didn't do it all year round.
Yeah.
After the show, we stopped.
Yeah.
We started like maybe 2 months before the show, and we stopped.
That was it, huh? Wow.
Well, look at the pictures of the guys, off season. Look it up. Did you see pictures? See a lot of pictures of Arnold in the off season? How flat he was.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't taking anything.
Right.
Oh, it kind of got smooth. We weren't taking anything. We were just training.
Right.
We just build some shit up on our own.
Right.
So it was great.
Bill, do you still do your contests? Do you still promote your show every year?
No, when I got sick, I had to stop doing it, and I haven't started it again. I'm gonna try and do it again.
Okay.
But now I'm so busy working. I'd like to do it again. I really love that show. So we're gonna see if we can implement it back into it, everything. But everybody liked it in this area too. It was an outdoor show. Yeah. But I think if I do it again, I'll have to do it indoors, and probably I would get the guy who helped me before. He would actually run the show, put my name on it, and I would show up at the show. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that idea anyway.
Yeah.
Doing a show is really hard, man.
I know it is.
People don't understand, on contest day, it looks great, man. Like you just didn't, they don't know how much work you did up to that. It is brutal, man.
I know.
It is brutal, man. Posters, phone calls, trying to find sponsors.
Right.
Posters and getting information to sponsors. How much money are you going to charge? How many tiers are you going to have?
Right.
Like, wow, man. Jeez. Then you got to print up all the forms for people to, applications. And it's work. Yeah. And you know this. You have your show every year.
Yep. All right, Bill. Well, I just want to thank you for joining us on the Bodybuilding Legends. You gave us some great stories from the '70s, man. We really appreciate it, and I know you were a part of that golden age. So I really appreciate all your stories.
Well, I appreciate being on the show, John, because I really like talking about this stuff. I really do. I mean, it's great. I mean, I just love telling stories that people haven't heard about what was on in the '70s. And I think now I told a few stories that I don't think anybody served, but you seem to catch some of those stories. I mean, you wanted to be explained. What John know about this, man? But it was great. I hope everybody out there who's looking at this, I hope you like it. I'd like to come on and do it again.
Absolutely.
It's been very fun.
Yeah.
It's nice talking to the fans out there. And, for the guys who ignore your fans, don't do that, because without the fans, we don't have anything.
Right.
It's an in sport.
Right.
The fans make the sport. I don't care how great you are. If you don't have the fans, you don't have the sport.
Right.
Take care of the fans. They're great. That's who we are. The fans want to come see us. Hey, let's let them enjoy.
Right.
Be good. Till next time. I'm looking forward to come back, John. And thanks for having me on the show, man.
All right, Bill. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for being on.
All right, man. You take care.
All right, that's it for another edition of the Bodybuilding Legends Show. I want to thank Bill Grant for joining us. And our next show, we're going to be joined by the legendary Rich Gaspari, the winner of the first Arnold Classic back in 1989. Rich was one of the top bodybuilders in the 1980s. He took second place to Lee Haney 3 times in a row, and he turned professional at only 21 years old. So it's going to be a pleasure to talk to Rich Gaspari, the Dragon Slayer, on our next edition of the Bodybuilding Legends Show. Until then, you guys have a great Christmas, and we'll see you next time.